exactly what he was supposed to. He's made his way to the final with, you know, some degree of razzmatazz and a bit of focus. Less has been on Ибраев, apart from the audience. They knew. Every time he stepped onto the mat, they were all over him. So here we go, the final of the under 60 kilo category, World Championship final. Not much that Mr. Wango Chiao could do about the handshake. I know that they, the IGF don't like that. They just want to see a bow, get on with it. So no hand slap, that was banned a long time ago. But on this occasion, Mr. Huang, the referee, thought, not much I can do about it. I'll leave it.
I think if he penalized, he might cause a riot in here. I think for his own health, it was probably a good idea to just let that one go.
I suspect a slow start as both fighters settle, and then one decides, okay, I'm going for it. Well, who's going to go for it first? Smetov looked drained at the end of his last contest. Ибраев looked wonderfully composed and just, yeah, he had a degree of composure about him. But there was another look as he stood in the tunnel there. I'm just trying to find the right way of describing what was at ease. He was at ease coming into the arena. Smetov had an air of, people expect me to do this about him, you know? We'll see how it goes.
Well, Smetov getting to this point, I think, at the weight of the world versus Ибраев did not. And so I would figure if Smetov, by getting to this point, and he knows who he's fighting, might be actually slightly more relaxed. But who knows what goes through these guys' heads walking to the final of a world championship at home. Yes, it's much quieter than it was in the matches in which they were fighting against someone from a different country.
Yeah, one of the teams said that the difficulty in having both fighters from the same country in a home final was that although you were going to have a big crowd in, they weren't going to be partisan to one or the other, because they would have supported whomsoever got to the final against whoever it was, but they can't support, you know, one against the other here because you haven't got the kind of personal things. They were just wanted to see someone from Kazakhstan, and you've got this reserved air at the moment where they're just watching the judo, waiting for something to explode, and then, you know, maybe we'll get some atmosphere in here, but it's rather it's subdued, to put it mildly. I think had it been anyone apart from a Kazakh fighter, this place would already have taken off. There wasn't the massive cheer as the fighters came in, and there's no opponent here.
Yeah, well, we heard that during the semifinals for both of those matches. I mean, you heard the energy in the crowd, the urging of their players, and every time they got closer, the crowd got louder and louder and louder and reached a certain crescendo. It's almost post-climatic at this point.
So much so in the semi-finals that we were watching one semi-final, but we knew who'd won the other simply from the crowd reaction.
Yeah, it was quite remarkable.
Minute 40 odd left to go. Ибраев has picked up the single Shido. It's a nasty looking mark on the board that may yet galvanize him into action. It's probably what we needed here, you know, some kind of spur.
Well, spur, catalyst. Spur is probably the better idea. It's a painful prick.
Well, let's see how Ибраев responds to the fact that he is now at a disadvantage, having picked up that single Shido. Minute 20 odd left to go.
Up here in our perch in the rafters of the stadium, just to the left, is the Kazakhstan TV, and I have no doubt that their lead story will be an easy one to report.
Yes.
Yeah, winding down a minute here. As Sheldon was saying, I think someone's going to have to take a chance. Ibраев went in with some stepping wazo. It's not so good, and Smetov might have a chance to finish things up here. And now as things wind down, we're hearing a little bit more cheering from the crowd, urging their favorite player, whoever that might be. Smetov continue to attack. I think he's just trying to lock this one up.
Well, the odd thing there is there was no real great disappointment from Ибраев, and there was no big celebration from Smetov. Smetov's just become world champion at home, you know. He never fell to his knees, looked up to the sky. There was no punching of the air, no pointing a finger to anyone in the crowd. It was, maybe he thinks he's just won his national championships or something. There wasn't the outpouring of emotion that one would have expected from a first world championship gold medal win.
I don't know what the relationship is between these two guys, but I think this is out of respect for his opponent, you know, who's his teammate, that, you know, not to rub it in, you know, to, you know, we both got here, we did our job plus alpha.
He's got some serious respect.
Absolutely. Or he just might be just exhausted, the pressure of the day.
He hasn't got any strength left. Let's see how they finish up.
There's a smile.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he can take the plaudits of the crowd now. The gold medalist here in the under 60 kilo category, Елдос Сметов of Kazakhstan, over his teammate, Rustam Ибраев. Now we get a bit of emotion from the Kazakh fighter.
I loved it. We got the bow, the smile, and then there was a I did it. Well done. Now the emotions come through. And the tears, and the hug.